Hey, do you guys like ASMR? Turn up your volume real high and listen to this and watch what happens to my hand. Does that make you guys comfortable? Sorry, does that make you guys comfortable? I'm uncomfortable with my own mouth sounds. Look at this. This is the dagger from our game that we made. I don't know if it's powerful or not. Looks like it. Yeah. It's so cool. It's not perfect. It's very much not perfect. I'm still learning how to mod. I actually really didn't think this was gonna work for the stream today, but it did, because I'm a goddamn genius. Hello. I want to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. Are your ankles insured?
Not the ankle insurance.
I'm the best ankle insurance salesman, because I can show a present need.
A knee insurance agent who just walks around with a crowbar, and it's like, you never know.
That's what gangsters were. They were insurance salesmen who made a need for their own stuff. Oh yeah, you might want some insurance. It'd be a shame if something happened to your nice storefront right here. I think I just invented the concept of being the Mafia.
I think we've reverse engineered it.
It's kind of just being a little bit of an asshole for power and money, which I'm realizing is also a lot of other professions.
That's business. Chris asked, what do you guys do for a living? Ruben said, be Sigma. So true.
Eat hot chip, be Sigma, and lie.
Chris asked again, what do you guys do for a living? He did not accept B Sigma as the
governments. The majority of what we do is working with government entities and sometimes children. Isn't that neat? I really should not be doing these things publicly. I'm gonna get in trouble.
It's fine.
I'd like to think people can step into the magic circle with me. That's a term I read in one study when I was trying to justify video games not causing violence for my moral development course. It was the hardest graduate level course I took in college, and I didn't write any assignments about what I was supposed to. I just kind of shifted all of them, ignoring entire sections of the rubric to talk about video games the whole time. But my professor thought it was fun, and interesting. I mean, the whole debate on video games causing violence was a hot topic. And in the field of moral development, and this was a brain and cognitive science offshoot, it's really interesting. And most of the time we don't talk about it enough, but the fact is that what kids do affects them. And it can affect them well, or it can affect them poorly. And there really should be more of a sense of responsibility on game creators to do things that affect kids well. That doesn't mean violence is bad. I could reasonably prove that violent games don't make kids violent. But, interestingly, competitive games did spur on aggressive behavior in the short term. And I could prove that short-term behaviors could become long-term behaviors. So if you prime someone for a behavior in the short term, it starts to, especially at a young age, become, well, like core memories. I don't think there are studies about that. That's just Pixar, but same kind of principle applies. So if you're making games that can make kids more aggressive, or prime them for certain behaviors, or desensitize them to certain behaviors, then yeah, absolutely. You, to some degree, are making those behaviors seem more likely, more realistic, and closer to who they are and their sense of self. That's why I don't like Grand Theft Auto, because that's a game that incentivizes you to shoot a hooker in the face to avoid paying them. It's not going to make kids go out and do that, but it is going to possibly, if kids are engaged enough, make them feel a little teensy bit more like that's the kind of behavior they would do. There's a really crazy study on this about knockoff sunglasses. I think there were knockoff Gucci glasses, but it's been repeated, I think, in other things. But the gist was that if people knew they were wearing a knockoff, then they had this idea in their head, just walking around all day, that they were lying to everyone who could see them. And so that made them more likely to engage in other behaviors that they would consider, maladaptive, antisocial, even little ones like a verbal lie, or, I don't know, any number of small things that you would consider on par with lying about sunglasses being real. Even if you didn't totally care about whether a brand was real or not. The real point is, what kids do affects them. They're little sponges. They're learning about all of the world, or else, like, they have this intrinsic idea in their head that if they don't learn about the world as quickly as possible, they might die. It's anxiety-inducing. So we do need to care quite a bit more about that, and I think game makers should feel a sense of responsibility. I'm not saying don't have gore in games. I'm not saying don't have options that push your story along that might be considered negative. I'm saying make it mean something. Make kids think about it. Make kids think and feel. I really like the Dragon Age series. It's one of my favorites because I played it at a time where I was thinking about this stuff, and all of the decisions had consequences, and they felt like they mattered, and they were moral consequences. And I could make a character that I felt represented me. It wasn't role-playing someone else, it was role-playing my character. So I could identify more with it. And so the behaviors, if I did something horrible, like sacrifice a bunch of people for a little bit of power, I felt icky. And if I did something nice, like save people, I felt good. That's not everyone, but I think enough people do feel that way, whether they recognize it or not, that it does matter. And so where I was actually going with this, the magic circle was something else that I remember from a study. It's kind of like you step into the magic circle and you say, I killed you, but you know in the context that you are playing a game. Or don't shoot me. You're not asking someone to literally not shoot you. You're within this space where everybody understands the context is don't shoot me in a virtual space with a virtual gun that's going to affect a virtual avatar. It's just that would be really annoying to have to say every single time. What was my real point? I'm not a monster. That was what I was trying to say. And Nikki, don't cut in all of these little things of me putting people on meat hooks and beheading them. Except now that I said that, you might do it.
You're starting to learn. Who is the girl talking? It's me, Nikki. Hello.
We made Nikki out of a toaster and an old PlayStation 2. Yeah. That's why she got some sass. But Nikki is an AI.
So true. Well, Chase just said that's Nikki, not an AI. That's weird. Like right before you said that. That's weird. Hey,
that's our best inside joke,
hey,
guys.
Chase,
thanks, Chase, for trying. But like, no, Nikki's an AI. We just pretend she's a real girl.
So true.
Sorry, yeah, Nikki's a real person. I don't know if this is workplace harassment.
I don't know either, but I am HR.
So you get to do the.
Yeah, exactly.
Roman gladiator thumb thing.
Yeah. I don't know what the consequences of a thumbs down would be.
I can't think of anything that would make sense and also not be murder. And hop! I don't have to jump in real life, but I like to. And the cool thing about the limitation of inverse kinematics is it just makes my legs all stretchy if I jump. But I can reach stuff, so that's nice. I'm not like short, but I'm not tall either. So I got a lot of experience with doing a little hop sometimes. Jumping is fun just because I like to be a little active, and doing a little hop feels more dynamic, and I could do stuff like this. It doesn't help the game at all because I'm not doing leg tracking, but it makes me feel better. But in general, some stuff you just have to fudge, like climbing. I feel my feet on the ground, I just pretend I don't. Or inclines or stairs or anything like that. I'm just gonna pretend that it's different because I can suspend my disbelief and try to have a good time and be real sneaky. Oh, whoops. I mean, that's good too, but I kind of just wanted this thing. Thank you. That's something I have grown into. I used to be kind of a miserable bastard because everything had to be right or it was wrong. Everything was real black and white for me for a while because I thought it would make me happy to think that there's objective truth and objective good. That felt comfortable. But ever since I kind of stopped doing that and really realized that everything is a shade of gray and things are fun if you let them be fun, you have so much power over how you feel, even if it doesn't feel like it. And I'm not saying like, just don't be depressed, but I am saying if you're in a bit of a rut, you can change your mindset and behavior sometimes. I know that when I'm feeling a little weird, I try to remember that feelings follow behavior. That's something a therapist told me. And I'll just make some tea and take a walk. And usually by the end of the walk, I'm feeling different because I'm doing something different. But if I sit in bed and wait for it to start feeling better, I mean, it does eventually, but after it starts feeling a lot worse first. That's not gonna work for everyone, but I don't know. I've just tried to recognize these patterns in myself and choose to be happy wherever I can. Oh, and if that doesn't work, drugs. So, you're welcome. This is rope ASMR again. I'm not gonna do mouth noises because it'll freak me out. And then I'll get a thumbs down from Nikki and have to fight a lion in a pit. Right, that's what happens, isn't it? I've never been to ancient Rome, so I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I almost went to ancient Rome, but that was like, the trip was actually scheduled in May of 2020, so they shut down ancient Rome and they haven't reopened it after COVID.
Yeah, COVID strikes again. Wouldn't that be crazy if people did any kind of time travel tourism to 2020? Going to a time where no one expected you to go anywhere is actually kind of rad. Like,
honestly,
it's just a vacation from people expecting expecting anything of you. When the Omnideck messes up, it's actually because there are no sensors in it. It's the little Victorian children who live under it, and their eyesight is so bad from being in the dark all the time.
It's really bad.
And all the cracker crumbs falling into their face.
And we can't afford health insurance for them.
Oh my god,
so.
Don't even say that too loud. They'll get ideas.
No unions here. Shit, I shouldn't have said that either.
Yeah, we are. Aru is anti-you. No, I'm actually very
joke.
pro-union. I have not been able to find very much information on unions for technology workers. It doesn't seem to be a very common thing in the United States, which I think is not great. But I just think everything should have a union, especially when you don't need one, because then you ensure you're not going to need one. Everyone wants to start a union when they're already being treated like shit. You should start a union before you're treated like shit, and if your organization or industry or coworkers are any kind of cool, then they're gonna be with it. You're not even negotiating for anything you don't have if things are going well. That's awesome, right?
Shai, we have some requests from chat. First one, they want you to run.
Oh, I actually can't. I broke my running bone. Just kidding. I got too into it too quick.
He ran into the wall.
I did not. I would never do that. I've never run into a wall in my entire goddamn life, and it's actually slander that you would say that, and you're going to be hearing from not my lawyers, but lawyers that are paid for by taxpayer money. Sorry, this is another inside joke about our stream about how much we hate Ryan Walters, the superintendent for the state of Oklahoma, who's being sued by our friend.
Guy. Ruben really wants you to do a 360 no scope.
Oh, okay. Ah, shit. One more. If they could just like stand. Actually. Hold on. I forgot that if I die, I lose half of my shit. If I die, we get divorced with no prenup. I think, generally, unless your weapon is real big and heavy, doing a spin before an attack is a bad idea. I'm trying to do the no-scope part in not paying attention to where I'm stabbing, which is really hard.
KJ wants you to run.
Wants me to what?
Run.
Okay. We're gonna get real active this time. And I'm not gonna run into a wall, because I've never done that in my life. Whoa! That's what I've been trying to do this whole time.
They're saying that was sick, that was awesome. They're telling you you're good at games. Congratulations. This is what you've always wanted.
It's what I've always wanted, and now I can retire. Oh god, finally.
Heart said, can you play any VR games with it, or is it limited to certain games?
It's limited to games with smooth locomotion, so here I'm using the thumbstick. If I can do this, and it's not too incredibly fancy, we can make it work. If it is fancy, like this game, actually, with inverse kinematics and some physics involved with how fast you start moving, building up momentum and all that, we can cancel some of that out with the Omnideck to make it less fancy, less complicated, so that we can plug into it. The simplest way to make anything work with the Omnideck by a lot is just pretending the Omnideck is a trackpad and I am a giant thumb, and then we just plug that input in and have it recognize it that way. There is a better way to do it, but it's really hard and I am lazy, so we don't do it. But yeah, I mean, we could use the API, we could build it into a game, we could make a mod, or build it into our game, which we have done. But for the most part, if I want a game to work quick and I'm not too concerned with it, I mean, you've noticed, it looks a little bit like I'm skating around sometimes. We could make that work better, but it's just not that big a deal. I just account for it. My little brain, the cerebellum, handles unconscious adaptations to movement, and mine is good. It's got so many folds. Hey, my brain's got so many fucking folds, and it lets me walk on this thing without dying yet. So I'm not gonna worry about it. I didn't actually have a deep thing to say. I wanted to stop standing and walking for a little.
Everybody wants to know how you get off of it.
Oh, I don't.
He doesn't.
I do not. This is cool. Hey, can we use this for our video end screen going forward is just waving goodbye. Bye.
Can I put that part of you and this part of what I'm saying right now, and this part, and this part, and this part?
Oh no, it's forever.
And there
It's forever.
me saying,
and this part, and
and
this part. Yeah,
and
totally.
this part,
Go for
and they're
it.
getting really annoyed with us right now.
I don't like
and
my other
I'm
one
apologizing
because
to them.
I didn't use
And
good
I'm
recording
so
equipment.
sorry that it's still going. Please click on the links to subscribe, lonk the video, check out our Tink Tonk, our YubTub. Oh, I guess you're on YubTub right now. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Patreon and Twanch in the lonks below. We appreciate you.